Well, Happy New Year, everybody. It's great to be entering 2026 safe, healthy, and promises of prosperity for our country and hopefully for all of us. I thought I'd talk a little bit today about, I think it's appropriate, Trump's accomplishments in 2025. Now, remember, he's only been there for 1 year. Let's start with securing the border and halting immigration. His promise was we will close the border. We will stop the invasion of illegal aliens. That's been done. The border is mostly secured. I can't imagine even the most ardent opponents of President Trump not conceding that fact, at least. The border is secure. He promised mass deportation of criminal illegals, people who have committed crimes since they came into the country. Yes, if there are other illegal immigrants with them, they're going to be swept up and rightfully deported as well. We certainly don't want the criminals. That's who he's going after first. He promised to end inflation and make America affordable again. Still a work in progress. It's incredible how the left complains he's not bringing prices down quickly enough, rather than complain why the prices were so damn high in the first place under the Biden administration. He promised to make energy, I'm only listing a few of these, this is a short video, promised to make our U.S. dominant in energy production. He said we will stop the Biden-Harris war on American energy, drill baby drill. 2026 promises to be just that, energy independent. He's also, and this is important, he's positioning the U.S. to be the dominant force in the upcoming AI battle. It's going to require a lot of new energy. Quite frankly, I'm very thankful and glad that President Trump is on top of this, because it's all new to me. This whole AI thing, it's probably new to anybody that's near my age, 150 years old or older. I'm glad he's on top of that. He promised the largest tax cut in U.S. history. I think he's delivered that. I don't know if it's the largest. He always says it's the largest. But he's delivered a massive tax break for U.S. workers. No tax on tips, no tax on overtime. I know the left whittles away at this, saying that there's a cap on it, that there's this and that. It's still a massive tax break, class Americans. It's more money in our pocket. He promised to protect Social Security and Medicare with no cuts on the retirement age. His promise was not to cut one penny on Social Security or raise the retirement age. There have been no cuts on Social Security, and there's been no retirement age. He promised to defund any school pushing this critical race theory or radical gender ideology or anything of that sort. He signed an executive order to cut federal funding for any school pushing for this critical race theory. We're asking the teachers, and I know this very often is not the teachers' fault, but we're asking the teachers to just do your job. I know it's not often, but we want our kids to be taught so that they will grow up to at least have some chance of competing in the future. Teach them science, technology, engineering, math, and for God's sakes, teach them some geography. It's embarrassing. President Trump also, and I'll finish up with this, he signed trade agreements with Thailand, Cambodia, Malaysia, South Korea, Vietnam, to reduce or completely eliminate tariffs on U.S. exports, including agriculture and manufacturing goods. At the risk of sounding like President Trump, we've been getting ripped off for decades, and no one has done anything about it. President Trump is doing something about it. He's leveling the playing field. He's also reducing the barriers on the critical minerals and rare earth material on those supply chains. For example, Malaysia pledged not to ban or limit U.S.-bound exports on rare earth or critical minerals, which is key, given China's export restrictions. And with South Korea, President Trump reached a separate deal involving nearly $350 billion in investment commitments to the United States. $200 billion of that is going to be in cash investments, and $150 billion is going to be in shipbuilding and other related manufacturing jobs, all of which are going to be U.S. jobs, going to be held by Americans. Oh, and while he was there, President Trump brokered a peace deal between Cambodia and Thailand, which may have saved, according to him, millions of lives. This is in addition to the 5 or 6 other wars that President Trump either snuffed out or averted. And almost comically, he blasted the United Nations for not doing more, not being more involved, and rightfully so. He said, and I'm going to try to quote this, "The United Nations should be doing this. They don't do it. They don't do it. They turned off my teleprompter. When I made a speech, I had to make a speech without a teleprompter, which is what I'm doing today. They're good at that." And the escalator wasn't working also. It came to a complete halt. That's kind of funny, but it's not. Purposely stopping the elevator and turning off his teleprompter. I mean, it's so petty, it's so typical of the globalist. But turning off his elevator put his life and our First Lady's life in danger by stopping them, just making them a target. And despite all of these accomplishments, in the first year, President Trump is absolutely repulsive to some. I really wonder if there's any scenario where those people would agree that Trump has achieved even some level of success. Thank you very much for joining today.